In this video, I'll be sharing the tactics that buy now, pay later services like Klarna, Afterpay, and Sezzle use to keep you spending, and how you can protect yourself if you decide to use services like these. As the cost of living crisis worsens, more and more people are turning to BNPL services, but the majority, in fact, 2 out of 3 people say they don't fully understand how BNPL works and what they're signing up for. That's scary, especially since the BNPL industry is largely unregulated right now. No one has our back, so it's up to us to educate and protect ourselves. So in this video, we'll talk about the 5 BNPL traps to watch out for, and at the end, I'll also share some tips to protect yourself if you decide to use services like these. Let's dive in. The first issue with BNPL services is that they make it way too easy to buy crap we don't need or can't afford. Our brains prioritize instant gratification and are also pretty skilled at punting today's problems to another day. And BNPL companies know this. These companies aren't stupid. They're run by smart individuals, but unfortunately, that doesn't necessarily mean they have their moral compass pointing in the right direction. They know that when people hear buy now, pay later, what they really hear is buy now, pay later. BNPL services exploit our desire for instant gratification by letting us shop without feeling the financial pinch right away. The typical pay in full structure trains our brains to break down prices into bite-sized, manageable installments, making a $100 item seem like a mere $25 expense. This can tempt people into making purchases they wouldn't otherwise make and fuels impulsive purchases because the thrill of instant gratification overshadows the long-term financial consequences. A 2022 Lending Club survey found that 70% of consumers admit to overspending with BNPL. In fact, Klarna even promotes this to merchants and investors, stating that consumers typically spend 68% more when using BNPL. No matter how they package it, these companies aren't your friends. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau has even called BNPL out as a service that is engineered to encourage consumers to purchase more. And they do this by successfully using psychology and human behavior against you. On top of encouraging overspending, BNPL can fuel significant debt accumulation. Most BNPL providers are more lenient than banks and credit card companies when assessing a consumer's ability to pay back their loans. This puts customers at risk of overextension and excessive debt. Initially, the deferred payments may seem manageable for most people, but when combined with fees and interest charges from certain BNPL providers, individuals can quickly find themselves spiraling into debt. Plus, the fact that it's easy to make multiple BNPL purchases across different services or merchants, individuals can easily lose track and end up with unintended and unaffordable debt. On top of this, the ease of BNPL usage, and given that you can virtually use it to buy anything these days, can create a dependency where consumers rely on it for every purchase, accumulating debt with each transaction. BNPL can be a slippery slope. This cycle of delayed payments and mounting debt can lead to serious financial instability. And if you do find yourself trapped in a debt cycle, you better believe you're going to be gaslighted into believing it was entirely your fault and you should have managed your finances better. We have to be careful. Remember, they're not our friends. Next, let's talk about sneaky marketing and complex terms. One common sneaky tactic that BNPL services use is the emphasis on interest-free payments, which can create the illusion of a risk-free transaction. In reality, BNPL providers may charge multiple and excessive late fees if you miss a payment, which can add up to a significant cost for something that was marketed as a free product. Policies on pricing and fees vary significantly between providers, which adds more confusion for customers. Using Afterpay as an example, assuming a $100 purchase and maximum potential late fee, which is capped at 25% of the original order value, would result in an APR equivalent to almost 600%, which is a lot higher than any credit card. They're just putting lipstick on a pig. You're still paying interest even if it's disguised under a different name. It's estimated that late payments account for 10 to 20% of overall revenues for these companies, which isn't insignificant. To make things worse, most BNPL services are set to auto-pay, potentially triggering overdraft fees if you lack sufficient funds. A nice little double whammy for ya. Additionally, like credit cards, the T's and C's of BNPL agreements can be really confusing, with complicated structures and hidden fees like rescheduling fees, reactivation fees, convenience fees, and these can trick people into signing up for something they don't fully understand. Now let's talk about data harvesting. So how are BNPL companies able to honor a 0% interest rate to those that pay on time? Well, as the saying goes, if something is free, you're the product. And that's the case with BNPL. BNPL companies have a lot of data on us, which is incredibly valuable to retailers who want and need you to keep shopping. Some BNPL companies now offer a comprehensive shopping experience within their apps or websites. They utilize your data to suggest items you're likely to purchase and employ design techniques to encourage you to spend more. Privacy policies of many of these companies use complex and ambiguous language, leaving customers in the dark about how their data is being used. But BNPL providers are monetizing your data by offering various services to brands, including customer profiles, personalized content, and targeted ads. And with the introduction of AI-powered shopping feeds, who knows where this will go? While innovation in this space could enhance the online shopping experience, the line between ethical marketing and exploitation is increasingly blurred. Once again, only you can protect yourself from the deliberate tactics designed to keep you shopping. And next, BNPL companies often target financially vulnerable consumers, exacerbating their financial challenges. BNPL companies are known to focus on younger consumers who may lack experience in managing credit and individuals with limited financial means. Given the traps we've already discussed, this is concerning. Surveys show that many of them don't fully understand what they're signing up for and/or may already exhibit signs of financial distress. Research indicates that BNPL users are typically worse off financially than non-users, with lower savings, credit scores, and higher levels of existing debt. Financially vulnerable users are particularly drawn to BNPL, with nearly 4 times the likelihood of usage compared to financially healthy users. Additionally, BNPL products generally don't assist in building credit, and failure to make payments on time can lead to negative reporting, damaging users' credit scores. So while BNPL may offer a short-term convenience, it often traps financially vulnerable individuals into a cycle of debt and financial hardship. I've tried BNPL services before, and I do think they can be a financing option to help you manage cash flow, so long as you're buying something you actually need and are sure you can pay it back on time. Personally, I prefer using my credit card and paying it off in full each month. That way I can benefit from rewards and added protection. However, for those of you that want to use Buy Now, Pay Later, here are some tips to stay safe when using it. First up, read the rules. Always make sure you read and understand the T's and C's before committing to a BNPL arrangement. And that means no skimming. You really have to make sure you understand what you're signing up for. Next, make sure you know the costs. Make sure you understand the fees if you miss a payment, and be aware that some companies like Affirm and Klarna also offer larger and longer term loans that, unlike the pay in full product, may carry interest rates as high as 30 to 40%. Next, shop wisely. Don't fall into the trap of buying things you wouldn't normally. To help with this, consider delaying your purchases. Think about implementing a 48-hour rule where you add items to your cart, but only hit the buy button after 48 hours. This can help curb impulsive spending. Next, limit your loans. Stick to just 1 or 2 loans at a time. Consumer reports have found that people who juggle 4 or more loans at once are twice as likely to miss a payment. Next, track your due dates. Keep a record of when your payments are due, especially if you have more than 1 loan. Next, check your auto pay. If your lender needs automatic payments, make sure they're set up correctly and you have enough money in your account to prevent overdrafts. Next, avoid credit card payments. It's best not to use a credit card to pay off BNPL loans because it could lead to extra charges and increase your credit utilization. And finally, talk to your lender. If you think you can't make a payment on time, get in touch with them because some may let you reschedule a payment, especially the first one. If this video was helpful and you learned something new about BNPL, don't forget to like and subscribe. And as always, leave any questions you have for me in the comments. Thank you and see you in the next video. Bye for now.